Hello everyone. In the last edition of Tok Piksa, Toya Weasel, Papua New Guinea's golden girl on the track, he praised for individuals and her sponsors for backing her. But she could not express the same for the government. She believes the government can do more for sportsmen and women on the international front. This time, the man they call the headhunter in the kickboxing ring, Stanley Nandex, not only agrees with Toya, but goes a step further. He believes the government can utilize the experiences of sportsmen and women who've raised PNG's flag internationally. Stanley Nandex, the retired king of the kickboxing ring, is our guest in this edition of Tok Piksa. Thank you, Stanley Nandex, for talking to us. My friend, kickboxer, headhunter, a little bit of politics in between too, I think. How has it been?
John, been good. Been really busy, just developing the fighters. As you know, I retired in 2009, and you know, I got to go back and start developing the code to various districts and provinces in the country as well. So it's been quite busy, just trying to see the sport growing at the same time.
Okay, and is it growing? I mean, you say you're in development, so
it is growing rapidly. Okay. Actually, we have 17 provinces actually that covers kickboxing schools nationwide. 17
of them?
That's right, and we have about 2,800 members.
Whoa, I mean, when you say members, are they officials or are they fighters?
Participants, I would say students and participants, yes.
Okay. Yeah. And where are they? Mainly the biggest number, perhaps in the highlands where you come from. I mean, from the Southern Highlands. That seems to be the pinnacle, the epicenter where the fighters are coming from.
Absolutely. The majority of the participants are from Chimbu. We've got about 750 students, basically in 4 districts at the moment. And also Mamasi is also the second largest number we have, as well as Southern Highlands. So I think also Bougainville has actually picked up, and there are a lot of fighters now we have actually promoted in a lot of trainings and activities that have actually been running. Okay. So it's very balanced to all the provinces, or I would say regions. So it's not just Southern Highlands, because I'm from Southern Highlands. But,
okay. Well, Stanley, as you know, kickboxing is fairly new. Boxing alone as well. The colonial administrators taught some of us in the early days how to play rugby and Aussie rules and all that. It's a fairly new code. And how did you sort of develop it, and why did you develop that?
You're very right, John. The sport started in 1997 when I first took part in the World Championships in Republic of Ireland, Dublin, and I came number 5 in the world, and that's when the head of the kickboxing, WKA, actually authorized me to become a representative here to run the kickboxing.
How did you get involved anyway yourself? How did you get interested?
I got involved in martial arts back in 1988, and you know, those days before martial arts, Bruce Lee, Jack Norris, and these people were people who really inspired me a lot. And when I you know, went into Taekwondo and Kung Fu and all that, I decided to take part in kickboxing because people like Vendam influenced me again. So I started kickboxing in '97. That's when they invited me for the first World Championships, and I did well, ranking number 5 in the world. In
but you eventually went to win the title in Finland or somewhere.
Yeah, the 2001 when I first became the world champion in light heavyweight, which is 81 kilogram. Okay. And that's when I saw the sport was growing rapidly, because people wanted to see also the champion, and a lot of kids have actually took part in the sport as well, not just the male but also female.
Yeah. Well, fighting, I guess, you know, boxing and kicking, is it violent? Do you get hurt?
I wouldn't say violence. I think sport has got their own rules. One good thing about this sport that actually really teaches me is about being disciplined, and discipline is, it involves a lot of things, and it's the food you eat, it's the people that you connect with, and I think it keeps you that mind frame of being a better person, not just being an athlete and you start taking violence, but also this sport also it teaches sportsmanship and knowing different people from all different aspects of life as well as other countries.
Sure. So, but can you be violent, Tom? Because you're obviously stronger than the average person there, you know.
I can't say violence in this sport, John. Violence is something that you try to abuse it and put it in for something that someone needs a help, or I'm a kickboxer, can I help you? And I want to best these people.
Okay.
I take that as a violence, but I think in kickboxing what we do is we teach people to protect themselves, their family, and also use the knowledge in when they are in danger and protect themselves. Yes,
right. Self-defense.
Self-defense.
Okay, but then obviously a lot of people are interested, as you say, you are well represented just about across the country. Now, only, okay, it's interesting you mentioned Bougainville, because Bougainville is a province known for excelling in boxing itself, you know, in the ring boxing proper rather than kickboxing.
Absolutely.
So that's a transition there for them.
Yes, I think they picked up very well because, you know, a lot of them, like you said, they've got a boxing background and also just put in a bit of a kicking technique in, and I think they become very good kickboxers.
They'll be a force to be reckoned with.
And also, I think kickboxing, everybody knows street fighting, and we're born as fighters, and especially for Highlanders, and we walk miles and miles on the top of the mountain. That's when I got all my strength from, being a head hunter and head kicker and all that. So I think the sport is actually, it just complements the natural ability as Papua New Guineans, and I see the sport is growing so fast because you don't have to teach them with a lot of things, like taking them to a high-class gymnasium or you know, putting them on a different program or different diet, you know, and it suits to what we eat. And because of our physical ability, it matches very well, and the sport has actually gone up so far.
Okay.
Yes.
When you were in the ring, you were known as, Headhunter was your ring name, I suppose, but you had this style called the round kick, and you kick like a mule. How did you develop that, and could you hurt people with that?
Yes, it's very helpful when you don't have a good defensive, and I think
if it connects, you can go
I
down
have
pretty
87 fights record with 38 of amateur fights and almost 50 of professional bouts, and all of that I had about 25 knockouts in my professional career, and it's very helpful when it connects to the head or to the rib cage or even right to the thighs, because
can it really? I mean, down injured, can you die from it even?
Yes.
Well, I'm a layman. I watch it and I sometimes think, whoa, this guy's had it. You know, I mean,
it's very fun to watch when you see those propeller kicks or roundhouse kicks. So it's very fun to look at it, but it's very helpful, John.
And you have to possess certain skills to be able to master that round kick, because it's the total revolution of your physical being.
Absolutely. What I teach my students that I can teach you 2,000 skills and techniques, but you can't apply all that in the ring. You got to have about 5 top techniques, which are your weapons. And I put this in a metaphor like, I'm a Highlander. I said my father was a hunter, and when he wants to hunt, he doesn't have all his arrows to shoot pigs and cassowary, and this is for bird, and he doesn't say that. He said, this is for pig, and this is for bird, and this is for cassowary. And so among all your skills, you know what techniques are good for you to apply at the right time. So I said, don't put everything in and don't confuse yourself. You've got to really work on your skills and your techniques that are far more important than other techniques. And that's just a strategy of that. So, and that's how fighters are using mostly some of the best techniques in the ring.
Yeah, it's the routines of doing certain things. I guess that's a routine that kickboxers need to apply, I suppose, master. Let's get on to this recent title fight we've had here. Okay, first of all, let's talk about what weight category was that? Was it welterweight, middleweight? What weight category was it?
John, it was a welterweight, which is 64.5 kilogram division, and that title fight was been vacant. So I host the event, fight against the Finland opponent was the current champion, and Rickson Yama from PNG was the contender, and it went for 12 rounds by 2 minutes for the WKF world title belt.
Yeah. And authenticated by the world bodies and things like that?
Absolutely. We have about 107 countries in the world, and the whole country knows about this title fight, because also most of the events was being promoted on Facebook and all around the world, and I think Rickson Rickson had a pretty good background in terms of his boxing ability. He started off well with me in kickboxing, and that was a title that had been vacant, so I had to put this fight, and he did so far, well in the 12 rounds, but just the split seconds that his opponent actually took out the title.
Well, I guess the exposure will do him all the world of good, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I mean, he lost his fight, not only him, but also former fighters who took part on that night. They already have invitations coming all around the world now, so it's also not just losing or winning in our country, but it's also exposing them and start promoting them to other parts of the world now.
Okay. And kickboxing, I mean, in the proper boxing, in the ring, you have the heavyweights, the middleweights, the light middleweight, the bantamweight, or the welterweight, right down to the flyweight. Do you have all of those in kickboxing?
We have that as well. We have about 12 different divisions.
Okay.
It's that the lowest we have would be the bantamweight, which is 54 kilogram. And up to 96 and over would be super heavyweight. So, yeah, we've got a similar ranking as well as what boxing does as well. It's pretty same.
Okay. And the title fight you staged here, successful? A lot of people, a lot of interest?
It was very successful. We had a bit of late preparations because of the venue where it was changed, and then last minute we did, but then we had a good turnout. About 3,000 people were there cheering for our fighters, and 5 international fights. We had won 4, and only the 5th one, which was the main event, world title fight, we lost. But on a good note, both fighters have actually shown the good skills, and Rickson was just few inches just to have his world title belt. Unfortunately, I think Jacob was too experienced, far too good, because he had about 108 fights record, and this would be his 60th world title fight. And so he has got that upper hand or experience to actually take on
the local
Rickson.
boy. And
that's right.
How many fights has he had before, our local boy?
He had about good fights as well, 42 fights as well, record. Pretty good. And he also fought in professional fights as well as amateur, not pretty much on kickboxing. I have actually promoted 15 amateur fights for him since when he started with me. But he had a lot of exposure in boxing, so he just came to me about a few months ago just to develop the kicking technique, and we did okay. Yes.
Okay, well that's good. And the countries that represented or took part here, there was Indonesia, a couple of other countries, Finland.
Yes.
Which other?
We've got Finland, we've got Indonesia, Australia, India. And also we had the representative came all the way from Austria for the sanction this event.
Well, for an entertainment star of NCD, I suppose the fight was good. A lot of people turned out to see it. What about backing from companies? Did you get that kind of support?
Yeah, no, we didn't really get much of backing. I think National Gaming Control Board chipping just for the cost for the FS and things like that. Sports Minister also chipping some money just to bring the sanctioned fights and all that. Bringing a world title into any country is very expensive. We didn't really achieve much, but I think I had to fund things myself because it's always the case where kickboxing is just part of my life, and I want to see the next world champion for this country. And ever since after my retirement, I haven't achieved my dream yet, and either I had all my life for Rickson, and eventually didn't happen. So I have to work hard again just to make another world champion.
Well, you might be down, but you're not out there, so you still be at it, I suppose. Yeah. It's good that Minister Tachenko has been involved. And then what about government? It's something that the guest I had here on this program earlier, Toya Weasel, said that the government wasn't coming on board, government wasn't developing Papua New Guineans in sports, and it's only like a smart politician. They say they see a crowd walking that way, smart politician gets in front and makes them think that he's leading them. That's the way it is here, that the government is not coming on board. Is it the way you look at it?
Absolutely. Most of my programs that I had were sponsored by MRDC and other companies, like individuals, and putting a lot of funds and money into it. With the government alone, we haven't got anything from the start. And it is a shame that when someone wins a world title or wins international, and we all clap, government claps and headlines, and then, oh, my daughter and my son and my uncle and all, and my countrymen and that sort of thing. But yeah. I think in other countries, what I have seen, there's some incentives. Every country that actually wins a gold or any international recognition, when they go back to the country, the government has got something to offer for them. And so it motivates them and it encourages them. And not only that, like I'm retired and government is not using me. I want to develop next generation, and I'm alone.
You're doing that yourself.
Yeah, and we can't bring in so much of expats coming in here while we've got our own superstars who are retired from not only kickboxing point of view, other sports, rugby league, and we need to start utilizing our men. And why should we spend so much money outside, bringing those people that they don't even understand the cultural aspect of it, the geographical side of it, people that what kind of food we eat, what the lifestyle we live, and obviously people doesn't have this clue. We know what it takes to be the top. I'm a villager. One day I never wear a shoe. I have never seen a plane, and it's a big jump, and it's a big change for me.
Yeah.
And those are my experience, and those are the things that I'm going to teach to the next generation. I have come out from this. I'm a world champion, and if you do this, you're going to become this person. And those are the things that government really need to come in and say, all right, you've been this person, this figure, okay, what can you give back? And that's what they do to other countries. People who are retired, like I see Martin Benny just walking on the street. We should utilize him. There is no structure of
Martin
system.
Benny, by the way, was a boxer, wasn't he?
And recognizing people who have contributed so much in this country, at the end of the day, they just walk on the street. And that is a problem, and I see it's very sad for people who have fought, who had a blood poured out in the name of the country. Finally, when they are retired, they just become ordinary people on the street.
Yes, yes. But why do you think the government does that? Why doesn't it come on board? Is it because we're not doing it right? What is wrong there?
I would say people who are in the sports really understand the need, would really understand the athletes. This is the person actually going through this. I think I need to restructure this. I got funding for this to improve this and that. And there should be a proper system put in place. I think some of the people who becomes a minister who's responsible may not have the life that we've been through, especially in sports life. So that, yes, this person needs that. And quickly they can come in and take ownership. And so government is big, and they give and uploaded the alternative responsibility to certain ministry. But then a particular person would not have any clue how the athletes involved in terms of preparations or training, or how they see the whole picture in terms of sports. So that's why I wouldn't blame the government, but I think the person who are responsible in sports would be responsible to look at and come to us and talk to us what the needs and what they can able to come in to help.
Yeah, all right. We've got the Pacific Games coming up shortly. We're preparing for it. We're spending some money developing fields and tracks and venues. What about developing those who are going to use the venues and win gold for us? Are we into that?
Just looking at generally, my sport wouldn't be part of the SB Games. But from professional point of view, we have a last-minute preparations, and that is our attitude in this country. We talk too much, but no action. If we're going to be top #1 in the South Pacific, start sending athletes now. Start developing program now. And if we can have that, yes, we can be #1 in terms of our medal tally.
Why isn't kickboxing part of the Pacific Games?
I believe the SB Games chart says any sport that has got that involves 7 to 8 countries, or I would say 6 and over countries involved in a particular sport, it becomes SB Games sport.
Okay.
At this stage, we haven't done our research yet.
We're the only ones with kickboxing
in this country.
In this region.
The other kickboxing schools are operating, but they're not associated with the federations within the all Pacific countries. So we put in the funding through the minister now to send us or send our officers down to visit the SBA countries and see whether they've got kickboxing schools established. If we've got 6 countries have got that, definitely we will be eligible to take part in SB Games. But Minister will be the person to help us fund this trip to go to Pacific Island countries, yes.
Okay.
So my encouragement, people who are responsible, start training now for 5 years or 3 years. Well, 1 year won't be enough time to prepare.
No, agreed. In '94, we did come first, I think, when we hosted the games here for the second time. The very first was perhaps in '69. But we came first in '94.
91, is it? Saturday weekend?
Was it? Oh, sorry, 91. Yeah, the games, yep. Yeah. And then, so we're hoping to repeat that, come first in 2015. But we've never really done well when we've gone to the other countries of the Pacific. Our favorite spots have either been 3rd or 4th. So that says volumes. So when we go out, we really don't perform. And it goes back to what you're saying. We haven't developed.
Absolutely. My sport is very difficult. I've won some fights on points, but the charges are not from Papua New Guinea. They're all over the world, so they favor their own fighters. So I almost lost my fight. So what I did, I have to come up with my technique where there must be a knockout. When I knock out, that's the only time I win. So I encourage my fighters, So in this case, going out and internationally and performing out there, and obviously psychologically, yeah, you need your own family, your own countrymen speaking to you and participate at a level. But to me, I would say people believe on people to participate. I don't believe anyone to coach. I don't believe in people will be cheering me. I represent my country myself. I carry the flag myself. And I always have that conviction, that the faith in myself, the drive in myself. So we've got different people of athletes. Someone wants to just go and see the country. And I always encourage my fighters, don't take pictures. You're going to disturb your mind. You are focused and you're trying to win and you're going. I've been to 23 countries in the world. I have no picture of that. Yes.
No memory of that.
No memory of that. I have never taken anything because I wasn't there for a tourist. I wasn't there to see the place. My aim was to go and win and come. So that's a different. So it's all about how you manage yourself. Are you serious? You want to be the champion? Or you believe on your team and for yourself, you don't believe yourself? And it is something to do with your own way of thinking.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're pushing for time a little bit, Stanley, Nandax. Let me just get on to this. Okay, government hasn't helped. You've tried to do this on your own. And you've also tried to bring in international boxers, movie stars, and there was this...
The B team.
B team that you tried to promote. What happened to that? Can you let us know?
The B team is still going. We also asked the government to come in as a kind of funding for the project because that movie was going to showcase PNG directly, and there was a potential. I wouldn't touch much of that. It's quite sensitive in terms of when it comes to politics and people involved in and so and so. So I have just backed off and tried to also, instead of getting funding support from the government, I have invited other investors, and the investors has come on board now. So hopefully the project will still go ahead, and we have planned to have that by September, October. So
this year?
This year as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So it will be limited in terms of getting the shooting on the special locations, especially marketing more of PNG. But because since these people are coming as business investors, we won't capture the whole country. It will be very specific, but it will be done in Fiji, it will be done in Australia, it will be done in some parts of the world. The whole idea, I invited the government to come on board, was to capture the whole country. Take the shooting in here, Highlands region, Momasa region, New Guinea Highland regions, and let's put the whole package together and let's sell this country. And it would have been the first movie hit, and we can invite more movie actors, people coming into this country. And there would have been so much economic benefits, social benefits, as well as the country itself and exposure in this country. And And that also come on board together with my achievement in terms of kickboxing. And those are the people that actually were part of the martial artists, retired and making movies, and I actually associate with them. And that plan didn't eventuate, but we have people, yes, and people who have been very keen that chances. So we might have that project going by September this year.
Well, wish you luck on that. Hopefully you get somewhere with that. Okay, well that sounds good. We are running out of time. We'll leave it there. Stanley Nandex, I'd like to thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you, John. My pleasure.
That's been Stanley Nandex, the man who is behind the sport of kickboxing in Papua New Guinea. Until another show at the same time next week, thank you for watching.